listening to this commission and getting feedback from everybody on this commission with regard to where do we stand with Hookah. I heard it very loud and clear that people, for the most part, either didn't want to say one way or the other, or felt that this commission should not be in a position where we would be considered an official appealer to a zoning board decision. Fortunately, we all had a discussion around that via email, and so I didn't call a special meeting, nor did I put it on the agenda tonight for us to become put a motion on the table for us to be an official appealer. Since then, and I also sent to all of you a press release that came out from the Hampton Union recently, indicating that both the Hampton Beach Village precinct and the owners of Ships Inn have actually filed a motion for a rehearing of the zoning board to review this Hookah Lounge at 225 Ocean Boulevard. My thought, and I'm going to let Chuck speak because he's probably the best to speak on this, but my thoughts is that although we're not going to be an official appealer, that I would like the commission to at least support, go on record and support the Hampton Beach Village District Precinct and the abutter Ships Inn in opposing the Hookah Lounge from coming into existence here in Hampton Beach. I have my own views on this, and it's summed up very quickly by saying the New Hampton Beach has to be a family-oriented beach, and I don't see this as part of that vision. I don't see it as part of the Hampton Beach Master Plan. I don't see it as part of the justification by the members that came to the front of the zoning board saying that this would bring Hampton Beach into the 21st century, that it would bring more visitors down from Canada. I totally disagree with those comments. As a matter of fact, the profile of individuals visiting these lounges are 18 to 23, and I can tell you that, talking to the Chamber and a number of hotels down in Hampton, we don't draw that type of crowd, that age bracket from Canada. We draw the families from Canada. So, Chuck, would you care to comment?
I think everybody knows how I feel. This doesn't fit into the master plan of Hampton Beach, and I'm hoping that the more people that... I have never, and I've done a lot of things over the years, I have never got as much feedback as I have on this, and I'm hoping that all the people that have concern and that are interested will come to this appeals meeting, and hopefully we can keep us in the right direction, Hampton Beach in the right direction.
Isn't there a third person that's appealing?
There is another.
Also.
Yeah, and there's some great points, and I'll tell you, the amount of people that have called me with different concerns and different arguments, if all these people show up, it's going to be a long meeting. It really is.
Did Kevin have the same types of concerns as the precinct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, I would like to make a motion to go on record that we would support the Hampton Beach Village District and the owners of the Ships in their effort to request a rehearing to the Zoning Board of Adjustments, and go further than that and to say that we would request that the Zoning Board of Adjustments reconsider their approval on the vote that they made about a month ago with regard to this issue. I'll make that as a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. Discussion.
What are the specific objections? I guess I've heard a lot of the hoopla over it, but what are the specific objections to this business being in Hampton Beach?
Part of it is this is a bar room without serving food. There would be smoking, which isn't allowed in any restaurant and bar at the beach as it is. And the cigar law that they're talking about requires that that there is no loose tobacco that is to be smoked, and anything that goes into a hookah is actually loose tobacco.
Okay.
So it doesn't fit with this supposed cigar lounge that is
So it's
there.
good, you're
And this is something that we don't have a ordinance for, that this should go in front of the town to decide if the town wants to have this type of establishment here.
I see your point about if it's in contrary, if they're citing that cigar bar law, and it's contrary because it's loose tobacco as opposed to cigars, okay, we have a contradiction with the law right there, there's a point. But as far as the town, what other businesses does the town govern in that regard? I mean, if somebody wants to open up a store that sells tobacco, they would get a permit, tobacco license from the state.
Well, one of the examples that they were using was a hookah lounge that's in Manchester, and that lounge was before they stopped smoking in restaurants and bars.
Okay.
All right, and that was grandfathered in because it was existing business. When they opened that, the town of the city of Manchester forced them to serve food. They didn't want to serve food, so this is going to be a bar, which we don't have in Hampton, with just a bar without food. In Hampton, you have to serve food to sell liquor, unless you have a ballroom license.
A ballroom, yeah.
So this is going to be a bar. They're not going to be serving food, and they're going to be smoking, and I just don't think it fits with what we want
I
here.
thought what I read was that they were actually going to have a menu.
No, they're going to have peanuts and
Oh, that's it, snack type food? Okay.
Just peanuts and chips and stuff. There won't be any cooking or any type of food.
And I think, not to get from the zoning board's 5 major points that they require, the technical side of do you or don't you. I might be wrong when I say this, but I look at the betterment of the Hampton Beach community, and whether or not somebody can get something through a zoning ordinance that would allow them, even if that event, activity, or establishment is not what our community needs. You know, to be very honest with you, and we've had many discussions, both open and in enclosed discussions with people in general, that if we were to take a look at the different blocks on Hampton Beach, there's this one block that we would like to see major improvements. The block now being in selling all kinds of paraphernalia, drug-related paraphernalia, what we would call weapons, they don't call weapons. That is where this hookah lounge will be, on the second floor of that complex. And I'm sorry, if we're serious about wanting to improve Hampton Beach, there's a line, at least in my opinion, we have to draw the line, and to say, this might be more of an emotional issue, a people issue versus a technical issue. But I think we need to stand and fight this as best as we can. Just my opinion. Any further discussion? Okay, let's vote. All in favor of the motion? One, two, three, four. Opposed? Abstain? 2, 3, 4. Okay, motion does.
If I could say though, John, if it wasn't for this particular property, I wouldn't have to abstain and I could support you. But because of I have a relationship with this particular owner, I can't come out and vote against him. All right, but as far as the future of Hampton Beach and other places, I could certainly support you down the road.
All right.
And I would like to support the other people, but I just cannot be voting against the zoning board. It's up, as far as I'm concerned, for them to come up with how it needs to be. I've talked to people on the board, including the chairman, and he feels very strongly, and he usually, you know, is very strict about how he does it. You know, he takes a lot of time to research the effort.